the big difference, go from the NFL to back to college football. But Lovie Smith's a perfectly equipped person to do it, to try to educate young guys, teach them football, teach them life skills, and do all that. And he joins us now. The gray beard is gone. I mean, you look 10 years younger than you did last time I saw you on my TV. Well, why'd you get rid of the beard, Lovie?
Well, hopefully it's more than just look. We've all had a lot of time to kind of search a little bit. I wanted to get in the best possible shape that I possibly could. And, the beard kind of says something else, says I'm a lot older than I really am. And, Mike, a lot of things are happening now, too. I mean, with COVID-19, I'm preaching, to our guys that when you go out, wear a mask. It's a lot easier for me, of course, to go out with a mask without the beard. So all of it kind of played a part in it.
That's true. Lovie, how has all of your time coaching in the NFL? We speak with Tony Dungy almost every week. Tony was on the show again yesterday. Your time around Tony, your time as an NFL head coach, how has it all prepared you to handle the job that you have right now? Because the job is a lot more than X's and O's over the last 12 weeks.
Well, life experiences, a lot of life experiences, Mike, I feel like has prepared me for this moment. When I say life experiences, I'm a 62-year-old black man from the South in a biracial marriage. So Marianne and I have seen an awful lot. I get a chance to lead men from all different places, all different nationalities. And as you mentioned, life skills do come up. As football players, as coaches, we live in a cocoon a lot of times where the real world didn't actually touch us. But we teach, we develop, we talk about developing the man first, and then we develop the football player. As we look, Mike, at what's going on right now, in our society, I've always encouraged our players to be involved with what's happening in your normal world, your normal life. As we look right now at what's going on, I've been asked a lot of times, hey, Lovie, can you come give me a statement about what's going on right now? Can you do that? It's so much more than that. Mike, a few things I think we need to acknowledge, and we can't go much farther until we do this. Systemic racism exists in our world. We have to acknowledge that first before we can go any farther. I've seen it. There's one thing to identify a problem, then is how we change that problem. That's what we've been doing at the University of Illinois. We're trying to make the world better, but it can't be words. I talk to our players about, hey, you have a right to protest. That's great. That's what college life is all about, too, in a peaceful manner. But then what else do you do? Mike, and that's where we are right now. What else do we do to make football better and to make the world better?
And those are conversations that are happening in every city, in a lot of households, a lot of businesses. The acknowledgement of an issue is the beginning, and then how do you take the steps to try and deal with it? And in college football, Lovie, a lot of times we'll judge people on your record. And hey, it was a 6-7 win season, got to a bowl game last year. Illinois football is in a better place than it was. I've never seen the coach who gets retained for we're turning out better men. We have a better society of football players from school X because this coach has been here for the last 3 or 4 years. Do you think that there is more room now to have that as a legitimate part of the conversation and judge people on those who are coming out of your program and not just did you win at Ohio State and what was the point spread against Wisconsin? Do you think we can get closer to that in college athletics?
Yeah, I think we can in every walk of life a little bit. But eventually sports do come down to what's your record. I mean, that's all people really want to know. The approach I've taken, first off, I've been blessed with an opportunity, to lead NFL teams, of course, to lead college programs. That's what we're talking about, is that opportunity. Once you get there, though, in order for me to help the next person that looks like me, the next black person, get that opportunity, the wins and the losses do come up, but it is more than that. And when I say that it's more than that, that's what we're dealing with on a daily basis. I'm just talking about the University of Illinois and what we're doing, what we're looking
Right.
at. As these discussions happen right now, we have to really look at ourselves a little bit. Civil rights movement was about, eliminating segregation and making this society a more integrated place. As I talk about our program down there, I mean, my platform as I see it, and I'm in a position where I can change a little bit. I look at what we have at the University of Illinois. We're led by a Black chancellor, Black head football coach. 7 of the 10 assistant coaches are Black men. Our director of personnel, our director of man development, our director of high school relations is a Black female, our director of academics. So to me, it's about the platform of putting a model together to see exactly, what can happen when you look beyond your normal comfort zone of people and what can get done and seeing people of a different color. But the record eventually comes back to it. I realize that. That's why when we get in positions, we need to do well. We need to do better. The University of Illinois is headed in the right direction. We made progress. We made noise last year. This year is our time to really knock down the door.
And we saw a little bit of that with the win over Wisconsin, then ranked 6th in the country when you guys knocked them off. When you have the conversations with your team,
yes,
how much of an open mind are you seeing and hearing from the players who maybe did not know the difficulties that some of their teammates, some of the guys who wear the orange and blue helmet next to them, had gone through before they've arrived at the same spot in that same locker room, eventually Zoom call for right now, that everybody else has arrived at?
Well, Mike, with our football team, I mean, they've seen what we've been doing all along. It's not like we're going to have to change an awful lot, but I think it has opened a lot of our eyes to what's happening, not necessarily just at University of Illinois, but with everyone else. And what I've always talked about last election, guys, be informed. This is a true way for people to hear your voice. Right now, I see a lot of protests. Protests are good. Then what do? It's like there's a death, there's a funeral, and everybody leaves. Right. And after the funeral, the next day, everybody goes home. What we're doing, what I'm going to insist on, first off, all of our guys register to vote. But that's just a part of it, registering to vote. Be informed. If you don't like what's going on right now, and we in America has acknowledged that we don't like what's going on right now, we have to look at first our leader. Do you like the policies that he has in place? Congress, local governments. This is how you have true change. And for us, I'm going to get back to make sure that they're informed. And I think a little bit on what's going on right now, a lot of people are saying that, well, I didn't know. I think we all know right from wrong. We have, I listened a little bit of Joe Namath before. We've all been taught that. And I think most of us really do know right from wrong. And again, that's what we've been preaching. We're going to continue to do that with our program. There's diversity. And the only way to make real change is we come together. Diversity does that. And you look at all the different areas. Mike, the NFL right now is everybody's talking NFL. There's only 3 Black coaches. There are only 2 GMs. There's no Black owner. That's important. But you look at college football also. When you talk about systemic racism a little bit, there are programs, college programs, where you can have a one-time transfer rule in place where guys can transfer and be eligible. There are other sports like football and basketball where you can't. I think as you keep looking in detail a little bit, why are there different rules for different people? And I think that's what we get to right now a little bit. You haven't mentioned George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. That's kind of seen right there. Everybody acknowledges that is bad, but it goes so much deeper than that. And that's what we're trying to change. Sports definitely can. I mean, forces us to get to know each other, and you can see that there can be some great positive things happen.
Really well said. I want to ask you one football question. Now, you've tried to piece the virtual world back into getting players on campus, hopefully getting some workouts, getting back to football. What have you seen as the biggest hurdles that all of you in the Big Ten, like other schools, conferences in the country, are going to have to deal with here over the next 6 or 8 weeks to see if we get a football season that starts on time?
Well, Mike, you go through football just in general. You have a plan. You have a perfect drawn-out plan. And the plan never seems like it goes along as planned. So you have to be able to adjust. That's what we've been able to do. I am older, but modern technology, what I've seen is that you can really communicate a lot of different ways. And virtually, you can get an awful lot done. As we've talked to our football team, I've talked to them about we have to assume that the season's going to start on time and we're going to have football. So we have to be ready. Each day you get up and just try to get better, and that's what we're doing. Next week, our players start to come back on campus. I'm looking forward to that. We have a plan in place to keep our guys safe. But what I've also found being, and shut in is how much you miss sports and how much a part of just everything that we're talking about. I think sports makes it better. And of course, been blessed to be in it a long time and can't wait to get back in it fully. But the process has started.
Yeah, we all can't wait to start watching it and talking about those things. And hopefully it's done in a safe manner. And hopefully it's done with a different tone, a different bit of understanding from what we've all been witness to over the last couple of months. Lovie, it is great to catch up. I thought the beard was pretty cool, but I got to tell you, you're the youngest 62-year-old guy out there in TV land right now. So keep doing what you're doing in Champaign. We'll give you an ILL-INI chant, and we'll hopefully get to catch up with you somewhere down the road. Continue good fortune, Lovie. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for having me on.